Hey guys, tonight we step quietly into an Aztec village at the very first blush of dawn, where sunlight stretches lazily across terraced temples and the air is tinged with the earthy, warm aroma of roasting cacao. You step carefully on the soft, dew-dampened ground, noticing how the grass glimmers, each droplet catching a pale gold glow. You probably wouldn't survive this bustling village life without a little humility. The locals move with practiced speed, but their morning chocolate rituals feel almost sacred, a delicate dance of patience, rhythm, and anticipation. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. While you do that, silently in your mind, notice the villagers gathering around small, flat stones, arranging cacao beans with care. Some beans are darker than others, glinting like tiny, polished pebbles under the first rays of sunlight. You inhale deeply. The roasted chocolate scent is rich, earthy, and slightly smoky, mingled with a hint of dried chili. It's grounding, oddly comforting, like a prelude to warmth you didn't realize you were craving. A widely accepted historical fact: the Aztecs valued cacao beans highly, using them not just as drink ingredients but also as currency, gifts, and offerings to gods. You watch an elder pass a handful of beans to a young apprentice, who carefully sorts them, noting subtle differences in texture and color. The ritual is precise. Even a misstep would draw gentle correction from the elder. Though never harshly, this is both learning and ceremony. A lesser-known detail: before the drink is ever poured, Aztec chocolate is often frothed using a wooden whisk called a molinillo, spun between palms in rhythmic, almost hypnotic circles. You observe, mesmerized, the foam rising slowly, forming soft peaks that shimmer like sunlight on water. You imagine trying it, yourself, clumsy hands threatening to spill. Laughter dancing softly on the breeze. A tiny rebellion against centuries of perfected technique. Humor sneaks in as the apprentice accidentally flicks a stray bean onto the ground, muttering a half-smile. The elder just nods knowingly, eyes crinkling. Minor mishaps are absorbed gently, often laughed off, woven into the rhythm of this morning practice. Historians still wonder if the ceremonial foam was valued for taste, for symbolism, or perhaps as a subtle status display. Was a frothier cup a sign of skill, patience, or piety? You lean in, noticing each gentle bubble, each deliberate swirl, and the question lingers softly, unanswered but comforting in its mystery. Birdsong drifts in from nearby gardens. The wind moves lazily through maize stalks, swaying beyond the temple walls. You take a deep, slow breath, letting warmth, aroma, and subtle laughter seep into your awareness. The villagers continue their motions, careful grinding, rhythmic whisking, soft instructions in low tones. Your attention drifts in tandem with their hands. The gentle squeak of stone on stone, the steady pulse of the rising foam. You can feel your own heartbeat aligning, slow and calm, tethered to this early morning ritual. Each movement is purposeful, yet meditative. The grind of the matate against the cacao releases a subtle sweetness, not yet foamed, a prelude to the full sensory experience. You notice your fingertips tingle, almost imagining the smooth paste adhering lightly to your skin. Its aroma grounding and strangely soothing. Light humor flits through your imagination as you picture yourself clumsily attempting the swirl, foam flying across a woven mat, eliciting a gentle chuckle from an invisible audience. As you observe, sunlight grows slightly stronger, illuminating golden threads in the foam, highlighting the tiny patterns left by skilled fingers. The air shifts, carrying a faint hint of vanilla and chili, subtle reminders that this is no ordinary chocolate. This is ritual, history, and care fused into a cup. You feel a quiet connection, as though centuries of knowledge are pooling in the warm aroma. Reaching across time to settle around your awareness, you lean back slightly, letting the warmth, scent, and gentle motions envelop you. Birds call softly, leaves rustle in a muted morning breeze, and the foam rises thick and gleaming, a tactile lullaby. You notice your own breath slowing, chest softening, awareness spreading across body and mind. The rhythm of preparation, observation, and gentle humor blends into a singular, quiet cadence, coaxing calm and stillness. The sun climbs a little higher, painting the temple stones in warm, soft gold, and you follow the scent of chocolate to a low, shaded platform where cacao beans are ground with remarkable patience. You notice the meditative, flat stone surface, its grooves, worn smooth by centuries of hands, rhythms, and practice. Each movement of the grinding stone releases a subtle, nutty aroma, weaving into the warm morning air. Rich, grounding, and slightly spicy. You probably wouldn't survive a full ceremonial morning without learning to move slowly, intentionally, and with a touch of humor at your own clumsy attempts. A widely accepted historical fact. The Aztecs often combined roasted cacao with spices like chili, vanilla, and atto to create a drink that was both flavorful and symbolic, consumed during rituals, ceremonies, and feasts. Watching the apprentice carefully sprinkle tiny flecks of chili into the ground beans, you sense how meticulous the process is. Each addition precise, deliberate, almost musical. A lesser-known detail: cacao was sometimes lightly sweetened with honey or maguey syrup. But this was a subtle flavoring rather than modern sweetness. You imagine tasting it, now foam thick, slightly bitter, and tinged with the gentle heat of chili, a drink that warms both body and spirit. The frothing begins, the molinillo spinning rhythmically between hands. A hypnotic circle that slowly produces glossy peaks, glimmering in the early sunlight. Humor drifts through your imagination. You can picture yourself struggling to keep the molinillo upright, whisking too fast or too slow, sending flecks of foam flying toward an invisible elder. You can almost hear their half-amused sigh, the kind that says, "Try again." But gently this time. Minor errors, you notice, are woven into the rhythm of the morning, absorbed into the ritual rather than punished. Historians still debate whether the foam itself held a symbolic meaning. Was it a mark of skill, a representation of abundance, or simply a pleasurable texture? The question floats in the air as the rhythmic whir of the molinillo continues, blending seamlessly with birdsong and the occasional rustle of palm fronds beyond the temple. The tactile and sensory richness is soothing. Your fingers tingle, imagining the slightly sticky paste. Your ears attuned to the soft squelch of beans turning into liquid, and your eyes tracing the glossy surface of rising foam. The aroma smoky, spicy, earthy curls around your awareness like a gentle wave. Every sensory input is both grounding and subtly hypnotic, a lullaby of human care and natural rhythm. The villagers move in soft, purposeful choreography. A hand dips into a small bowl to check consistency. Another guides the molinillo's motion, while yet another sets tiny cups on a woven mat. You notice how the environment itself encourages calm precision. It is almost impossible not to slow your own breathing, to attune to the gentle, repetitive motions surrounding you. A playful moment surfaces. The apprentice inadvertently flicks a tiny splash of foamy chocolate onto a palm leaf. The elder's eyes twinkle with amusement, and a soft, shared laughter floats through the shaded platform. You can feel the warmth of human presence, hear discipline tempered by gentle humor, ritual infused with kindness. As the sun rises further, shadows shorten, illuminating small golden flecks in the chocolate foam. The air vibrates softly with the rhythm of hands and whispers, birds and wind, and the quiet pulse of tradition. You inhale deeply, letting the warmth, scent, and gentle sounds fill your body, aligning your heartbeat with the slow, meditative flow of preparation. Time stretches, yet feels elastic. Minutes and centuries blend. You sense the rhythm of ritual and daily life entwined, a cadence of preparation, attentiveness, and subtle amusement that spans generations. Slowly, your body softens, your mind quiets, and the gentle rise and fall of chocolate foam becomes almost hypnotic, a lullaby of tactile history and aromatic memory. The morning sun climbs higher, soft and golden, illuminating the temple courtyard where small ceremonial gatherings begin to take shape. You notice the elders arranging carved wooden cups, carefully aligned on woven mats. Each cup is unique, some decorated with intricate patterns, others left plain, their surfaces polished by decades of use. The aroma of cacao drifts through the courtyard, mingling with the subtle scent of maize, herbs, and morning dew. You take a slow breath, feeling the warmth seep into your skin, and the gentle pulse of ritual settle into your awareness. A widely accepted historical fact, the Aztecs often consumed chocolate as a ceremonial drink rather than an everyday beverage, serving it during offerings, social gatherings, and religious events. Watching the careful pouring of frothed chocolate into tiny cups, you sense the reverence inherent in every motion. Even a slight spill would not disrupt the flow, but would be quietly noted, a lesson in mindfulness and care. A lesser-known detail, during certain rituals, participants would stir the chocolate clockwise or counterclockwise, believed to align the drinker's spirit with celestial movements. You watch, mesmerized, as hands mimic the circular motion, a subtle dance that seems both meditative and celebratory. You imagine trying it yourself, feeling slightly clumsy, yet warmed by the intentionality of the gesture. Humor drifts softly. An apprentice, attempting to balance 3 cups at once, tilts too far, sending a tiny splash onto the woven mat. The elder smiles faintly, shaking a head with quiet amusement, reminding everyone that small mistakes are part of learning, part of life, and sometimes part of ceremony. You notice how humor is never harsh, it's gentle, like a soft exhale within the focused energy of the ritual. Historians still debate the symbolic significance of foam patterns on ceremonial chocolate. Did a taller peak denote skill? Was a particular swirl reserved for elite participants? Observing the rising, glistening foam, the question hovers in the warm morning air. Unanswered, yet oddly comforting in its ambiguity. The sensory experience deepens. The slight warmth of the cup in your hands, the faint tickle of foam against fingertips, the soft clink of wood on stone. Birds sing in nearby trees, their calls weaving between the murmured instructions and gentle laughter of the ritual participants. Each sound, scent, and movement anchors you in the moment, a slow, deliberate immersion into living history. You notice the interplay of human gestures, fingers dusted lightly with cacao, gentle tilts to encourage even froth, small adjustments in posture to catch sunlight just right. There's rhythm here, repetition that soothes as much as it instructs. You feel your own breathing slowing in tandem, your awareness settling into the quiet cadence of practice. A playful detail, a small child reaches out to touch the foam, eliciting a quiet chuckle from the elder. The movement is absorbed naturally, a reminder that tradition is lived and experienced, often with moments of delight and light-hearted connection. You imagine the laughter, soft and low, blending seamlessly with the surrounding warmth and fragrance. As the morning progresses, sunlight spreads fully across the courtyard, highlighting the gentle sheen of chocolate foam and the meticulous care in each action. The environment hums with life, ritual, and history. Your senses are tuned to the cadence, the warmth, and the subtle humor embedded in every motion. You feel yourself drawn deeper into calm awareness, body and mind aligning with the quiet, golden rhythm of the Aztec morning. You shift your attention to the wider courtyard, where the Aztec villagers begin to gather more deliberately, forming small clusters around mats laden with ceremonial chocolate. The morning sunlight warms the temple stones, casting long, soft shadows that mingle with the gentle mist still lingering over maize fields and flowering shrubs. You notice how the participants move carefully, their gestures deliberate, as though the very air carries instructions written long before. The scent of cacao is richer here, mingling with the faint aroma of roasted maize and herbal offerings, a warm, grounding bouquet that draws your awareness fully into the scene. A widely accepted historical fact: chocolate in Aztec culture was often reserved for the elite, warriors, and religious ceremonies. Drinking it was a symbol of status, vitality, and divine favor. You observe as a warrior takes a slow sip, foam rising slightly above the rim, eyes closing briefly in appreciation. The care and focus with which each cup is handled speaks to the sacredness of this daily practice, even in its seemingly casual morning moments. A lesser-known detail: some cacao drinks included small amounts of ground annatto seeds or vanilla to enhance both flavor and color. You notice the subtle red-orange tint in the foam, glinting faintly in the soft sunlight, a visual delight that adds another layer to the ritual experience. You imagine stirring it with the molinillo, watching the patterns twist and shimmer, a tiny artistic expression in liquid form. Humor drifts through the courtyard. An apprentice accidentally spins the molinillo too quickly, sending tiny flecks of foam onto a nearby woven mat. A quiet laugh ripples through the group, gentle, unhurried, and human, reminding you that even in solemn ritual, moments of levity are cherished. Mistakes are not punished, but absorbed, becoming part of the rhythm and memory of practice. Historians still wonder about the precise symbolic meanings attached to foam patterns, spices, and preparation techniques. Was a particularly frothy cup a sign of skill, devotion, or simply aesthetic pleasure? You lean into the uncertainty, letting the unanswered questions float like the soft tendrils of steam rising from each cup. Oddly comforting in their mystery, your senses take in the tactile richness, the smooth warmth of a wooden cup, the gentle vibration of the molinillo between hands, the slight resistance of the foamy chocolate as it meets the lip. Birds call softly from nearby trees, their song punctuating the ritual with gentle punctuation, while the rustling of leaves adds a delicate counterpoint. You notice your own breathing aligning with these rhythms, each inhale synchronized with the gentle swirl of foam, each exhale melting tension from your body. A playful detail: one elder pretends to judge the height of the foam on a particularly bubbly cup, shaking his head with mock severity before a soft smile spreads across his face. The laughter is shared quietly, a human moment woven into centuries of structured practice. You feel the warmth of connection, not just to the people before you, but to generations who have performed this ritual in near identical ways. As the sun climbs higher, shadows shorten and illuminate the subtle artistry of each cup. Foam peaks, swirls of spices, and delicate traces of hand motion. Every movement, scent, and sound reinforces a meditative rhythm that seeps into your awareness. You feel your own body soften, shoulders release, and thoughts quiet, drawn into the gentle cadence of Aztec morning chocolate rituals. The space feels alive, sacred yet playful, rich in history, texture, and quiet joy. You wander slightly to the edges of the courtyard, where the aroma of chocolate mingles with the faint sweetness of roasting maize and fresh herbs laid out for morning offerings. The sunlight has grown warmer, spilling over carved stone steps and illuminating the intricate patterns etched into temple walls. You notice how the villagers move in a gentle rhythm, hands dipping into bowls, fingers tracing subtle designs, eyes following rising foam, lips curving in small smiles. It feels slow, deliberate, and soothing, like the world itself has adjusted its pace to match the morning ritual. A widely accepted historical fact: cacao was believed by the Aztecs to contain divine properties, often associated with vitality, fertility, and the favor of gods. You watch as the foam is poured carefully into small, hand-carved cups, each drop accompanied by whispered blessings or silent focus, as though the drink itself carries spiritual weight. The act of drinking becomes a meditation, a moment to connect body, mind, and spirit to both the earth and the divine. A lesser-known detail in some communities: the preparation of chocolate was accompanied by gentle humming or chanting, believed to enhance flavor, induce mindfulness, and foster a sense of communal harmony. You imagine the soft vibration of voices blending with the rhythmic tapping of the molinillo, creating a tactile and auditory meditation that drifts like smoke through the sunlit courtyard. The sound is subtle, almost hypnotic, and you feel yourself relaxing with each soft note. Humor finds its way into the ritual. A young apprentice accidentally dribbles a tiny stream of chocolate along the edge of a mat. A master notices, raises an eyebrow, and allows a quiet grin, demonstrating that minor mishaps are woven into the cadence of practice, welcomed as lessons rather than failings. You chuckle inwardly, feeling the gentle levity seep into your own awareness, softening tension and inviting calm. Historians still debate whether certain ceremonial techniques, like specific stirring motions or foam heights, held precise symbolic meanings, or were more a matter of aesthetic and practical preference. Observing the meticulous care, you sense that the answer may lie in a blend of both tradition, artistry, and utility, all entwined. The textures are rich. The cool smoothness of carved cups in your hands, the gentle give of foam as it meets your fingers, the slight grit of ground cacao under a thumb. Your senses drink in each detail: the faint crackle of roasting beans, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. Each element anchors you to the scene, drawing your awareness into a slow, meditative attentiveness. Another playful moment: an elder pretends to taste us the foam by holding the cup dramatically to his lips, eliciting a quiet ripple of laughter among observers. The levity is subtle yet warm, a reminder that even solemn rituals embrace moments of human delight. You feel a sense of continuity, connection, and calm as centuries of tradition, gentle humor, and human presence converge in the sunlit courtyard. As the ritual continues, you notice the interplay of light, foam, scent, and sound, forming a gentle rhythm that seems to echo in your own breathing. Your chest rises and falls in sync with the swirling chocolate, the soft chatter of participants, and the distant calls of birds. Slowly, the morning becomes a gentle lullaby, a sensory immersion that soothes both mind and body, guiding you toward quiet reflection and deep relaxation. You drift closer to a small altar at the edge of the courtyard, where sunlight hits a carved stone basin filled with finely ground cacao. The aroma is richer here, a blend of roasted chocolate, faintly sweet maize, and the earthy fragrance of nearby herbs. The morning air is soft, almost velvety, carrying the warmth of the rising sun and the subtle hum of activity around you. You notice how hands move deliberately over the basin, dipping molinillos, swirling the chocolate, and lifting foam in careful, practiced motions. It's a rhythm both precise and meditative, and you feel your own awareness slow to match it. A widely accepted historical fact: Chocolate was often mixed with water, spices, and sometimes even chili, then frothed vigorously using a molinillo to create a thick, foamy beverage. The technique required patience and strength, and it was performed with both ceremony and care, a skill passed down through generations. You watch the foam rising slowly, peaks forming like tiny, glossy clouds, each swirl a delicate work of craft. A lesser-known detail, in some Aztec rituals, the chocolate was frothed so vigorously that small patterns emerged in the foam, believed to indicate the favor of gods, or to reflect the skill of the preparer. You imagine tracing the glossy shapes with your finger, though careful not to disturb the sacred drink, smiling at the quiet artistry embedded in each cup. Humor drifts softly, an apprentice, eager to master the rhythm, twirls the molinillo too quickly, sending a miniature splash onto the edge of the stone basin. The elder glances over, lips twitching with amusement, and you can almost hear the soft, unspoken joke. Patience, young one. The gods are not in a hurry. Laughter, gentle and quiet, weaves seamlessly into the morning ritual. Historians still debate whether the frothing itself carried symbolic meaning beyond texture and taste. Was the rising foam meant to mimic clouds, spirit, or vitality? You watch the careful upward motion of each swirl, the way light glints off the peaks, and sense that some mysteries are meant to linger, comforting in their unanswered questions. The sensory environment is richly textured, the cool, polished wood of the molinillo in your hands, the soft resistance of chocolate as it thickens, the faint warmth radiating from the sun-soaked stones. Birds flit overhead, their soft calls punctuating the rhythm, while the gentle rustle of leaves adds a muted counterpoint. You notice your own breathing slowing, chest rising and falling in harmony with the gentle swirl of chocolate, the subtle hum of hands, and the soft exhalations of the morning air. A playful observation, a small child reaches forward to mimic the swirling motion, foam smudging lightly on tiny palms. The elder allows it, watching with a quiet smile. Humor and ritual blend naturally here, teaching patience, reverence, and light-hearted engagement. You feel a comforting connection, not just to the people around you, but to countless generations who have performed these same motions in nearly identical sunlit spaces. As the morning continues, the light shifts subtly, reflecting off glossy foam, highlighting small textures and illuminating faces filled with quiet focus. The gentle pulse of motion, scent, and warmth draws you deeper into relaxation, aligning your own awareness with the soft, meditative rhythm of Aztec chocolate preparation. Every inhalation fills you with calm, every exhalation releases tension, and slowly you feel the rhythm becoming your own gentle lullaby. You move toward a shaded corner of the courtyard where the ceremonial preparation continues with a slightly slower, more reflective energy. The sunlight has grown warmer, softening the edges of stone carvings and casting gentle highlights on woven mats. The aroma of chocolate is richer here, mingling with subtle hints of roasted maize, dried vanilla, and the earthy fragrance of herbs used for offerings. You notice how each hand motion is deliberate, swirling, frothing, lifting foam, and adjusting small vessels with tender care. The rhythm is soothing, and you feel your awareness settling into the gentle cadence of movement and scent. A widely accepted historical fact, cacao was considered sacred in Aztec culture, often used in religious ceremonies and social gatherings, with preparation itself treated as a ritual act. Watching the villagers at work, you notice the care in every gesture, the meticulous grinding, careful stirring, and precise pouring reflecting reverence for both the ingredient and the tradition. A lesser-known detail, sometimes chocolate was lightly smoked or infused with specific aromatic herbs to enhance both flavor and spiritual significance. You imagine inhaling this subtle smoke, its warmth curling around your senses like a gentle cloak, grounding you in the sacred rhythm of the morning. Humor drifts softly. An apprentice accidentally fluffs the foam too high, sending a small puff onto a nearby woven mat. A quiet chuckle passes between elders, a shared acknowledgement that small mistakes are woven into the learning process and the morning's gentle flow. You smile, feeling the warmth of shared human experience, knowing that centuries of ritual included these tender, amusing imperfections. Historians still debate the extent to which ceremonial chocolate preparation influenced social hierarchy or spiritual interpretation. Some suggest foam, peaks and spice combinations indicated skill, status, or divine favor. Watching the careful attention to detail, you sense the blend of artistry, devotion, and subtle social cues present in each cup. The tactile sensations are vivid, the smooth, slightly warm wood of the molinillo, the soft resistance of chocolate as it thickens, the faint stickiness of foam on fingers. Birds call softly in the surrounding gardens, their song punctuating the rhythmic motion of hands and vessels. You notice your own breath slowing, sinking with the gentle stirring, the soft rise of foam, and the warm sunlight bathing your shoulders. A playful detail. One elder pretends to inspect the foam with exaggerated scrutiny, lips pursed and eyes squinting, prompting a quiet ripple of laughter among the participants. These subtle moments of levity weave seamlessly into the morning, reminding you that ritual, discipline, and human warmth coexist beautifully. As the morning unfolds, the golden sunlight illuminates small peaks of foam, glints of polished vessels, and highlights the soft, patient movements of each participant. The gentle rhythm of stirring, frothing, and arranging forms a meditative pattern, and you feel drawn deeper into the quiet pulse of history. Your body softens, awareness slows, and the gentle interplay of aroma, motion, and soft humor carries you toward a calm, reflective state, ready to drift further into the sensory lullaby of Aztec chocolate rituals. You drift toward the center of the courtyard, where the ritual reaches a quieter, almost meditative phase. The sun is higher now, warming the stone floors and casting soft golden light across carved reliefs. You notice how hands move in a slower, more deliberate rhythm, swirling chocolate, lifting foam, and adjusting tiny cups on woven mats. The scent is intoxicating. Roasted cacao, a hint of chili, and subtle herbal undertones curling through the warm morning air. Each breath draws you deeper into a sensory immersion, and you feel the gentle pull of centuries-old practice guiding your own awareness. A widely accepted historical fact. Chocolate was often served in small, hand-carved vessels during Aztec rituals, emphasizing the careful measurement and presentation of the beverage. You observe how each cup is lifted and inspected, foam rising slightly above the rim, a testament to skill, patience, and tradition. The ritual itself seems almost choreographed, a quiet dance of hands, aroma, and motion, a lesser-known detail. Some communities added tiny amounts of pollen or aromatic seeds to the chocolate for subtle flavor and symbolic purposes, representing fertility, prosperity, or spiritual connection. You imagine the delicate, almost imperceptible grains floating atop the foam, a hidden layer of meaning, whispering centuries of ritual knowledge into the present. Humor drifts gently. An apprentice, eager to impress, spins the molinillo a fraction too fast, creating a small flurry of chocolate bubbles. A quiet, knowing smile from a nearby elder reminds you that learning is playful, and mistakes are woven seamlessly into the rhythm of practice. You feel the levity settle over the scene like a soft, invisible blanket. Historians still debate the symbolic significance of various chocolate textures, foam heights, and preparation methods. Did a thicker foam indicate devotion, skill, or divine favor? Observing the careful attention to detail, you sense that these choices were likely a mixture of practicality, aesthetic preference, and subtle spiritual meaning. The textures and sounds envelop you, the smooth warmth of wooden vessels, the soft resistance of thickened chocolate, the gentle hum of hands spinning molinillos, and the occasional soft laughter. Birds call from nearby trees, their voices punctuating the ritual with melodic punctuation. You notice your own breath slowing, syncing with the motion of frothing and pouring, the subtle rise of foam, and the gentle warmth of sunlight on your skin. A playful moment, a small child mimics swirling the molinillo, foam sticking to tiny palms. The elder allows it, smiling, integrating joy and learning into the sacred ritual. You feel a sense of timeless connection, imagining countless hands and hearts performing the same gentle motions over generations. As the morning unfolds fully, sunlight glints off glossy foam, highlighting delicate patterns formed by centuries of practice. Every scent, motion, and subtle laugh reinforces a slow, meditative rhythm that draws you deeper into calm awareness. Your body softens, mind quiets, and the gentle pulse of Aztec chocolate preparation carries you further into relaxation, sensory reflection, and meditative ease. You step closer to the temple's outer terrace, where the aroma of chocolate mingles with the early warmth of sun-baked stone and the faint, sweet scent of roasted maize. The ritual has settled into a soothing rhythm, each participant's movements deliberate yet gentle, as if time itself has slowed to accommodate the ceremony. You notice hands tracing small, almost imperceptible designs in the foam, swirling patterns that catch sunlight like tiny rivers of gold, while the molinillo spins rhythmically between palms. The sensory richness, the aroma, the texture, the gentle sounds draws you deeper into calm awareness, anchoring body and mind in this moment. A widely accepted historical fact. Aztec chocolate rituals often involved communal participation, where elders, apprentices, and other villagers shared the drink, reinforcing social bonds, hierarchy, and spiritual connections. You observe the careful passing of each cup, foam rising slightly above the rim, accompanied by quiet murmurs or respectful nods. There is a sense of shared presence, of history moving through each hand, each swirl, and each sip. A lesser-known detail. In some regions, small amounts of ground flowers or pollen were added to chocolate as offerings to the gods, believed to imbue drinkers with blessings, clarity, or vitality. You notice subtle hints of these floral notes drifting in the air, delicate enough to be almost imperceptible, yet grounding in their presence. You imagine how these subtle infusions would heighten both the taste and the symbolic resonance of each cup. Humor emerges gently. An apprentice struggles to lift a particularly frothy cup, foam wobbling precariously. The elder raises an eyebrow and whispers a teasing instruction, eliciting a quiet, shared chuckle. You notice how levity is woven seamlessly into the ritual, a gentle reminder that human imperfection and playfulness are integral to long-standing traditions. Historians still wonder about the precise relationship between chocolate rituals and Aztec spiritual cosmology. Did certain patterns in foam or spice blends convey hidden meanings? Observing the careful gestures, subtle flourishes, and quiet focus, you feel the answer may reside as much in lived experience as in written recorder tactile. Sensory knowledge passed across generations. The ambient sensations are immersive. The soft swish of molinillos, the faint clink of wooden vessels, birdsong drifting from nearby groves, and the gentle warmth of sunlight on your skin. Each detail is both grounding and hypnotic, guiding your breathing into slow, even rhythm, matching the gentle rise and fall of the foam. A playful moment, a small child dips a finger into a peak of frothy chocolate, tasting it and grinning, while the elder watches indulgently. Laughter here is subtle, soft, and warming, a human thread woven into the centuries of ceremony. You feel the continuity, the shared care, and the gentle rhythm of life and ritual all around you. As the terrace fills with gentle sunlight and the ritual reaches its full cadence, you notice how the interplay of texture, aroma, movement, and soft humor carries a slow, meditative energy. Your body relaxes further, your mind softens, and the gentle pulse of hands, foam, and sun draws you deeper into sensory immersion and tranquil reflection. You drift toward a quiet corner of the terrace, where sunlight filters through woven mats and the air is thick with the warm, earthy scent of roasted cacao. The ritual has taken on a steady, almost meditative rhythm. Hands lift molinillos, swirl foam, and carefully pour chocolate into tiny carved cups. You notice the subtle variations in foam texture, the tiny peaks rising and falling with each gentle spin, glinting in the soft sunlight. The scene feels timeless, a slow-motion dance of care, skill, and human presence that invites your senses to settle fully into the moment. A widely accepted historical fact, the Aztecs believed cacao was a gift from the gods, often consumed during morning rituals to honor deities, foster focus, and maintain social bonds. Watching the elders and apprentices, you see how each movement honors this belief. Every gesture deliberate yet infused with natural grace. The drink is more than sustenance, it is an act of reverence, skill, and quiet community. A lesser-known detail, in some ceremonies, chocolate was sometimes lightly spiced with maize, vanilla, or annatto to enhance both flavor and symbolism. You notice the faint, warm hues of annatto in the foam, catching the light like tiny embers. The combination of subtle taste, color, and texture creates a multi-sensory experience, almost hypnotic in its complexity and charm. Humor drifts softly. An apprentice accidentally flicks a tiny bit of chocolate foam onto the edge of a cup, eliciting a gentle chuckle from a nearby elder. Mistakes are absorbed with patience, often becoming playful lessons rather than interruptions, reminding everyone that the ritual is both serious and human. You smile inwardly, feeling the levity wrap around your awareness like a soft, comforting blanket. Historians still debate the exact ceremonial significance of foam patterns. Did a taller, glossier peak indicate mastery, favor with the gods, or merely aesthetic preference? Observing the careful attention paid to each swirl, you sense that skill, reverence, and tradition are intertwined in a way that goes beyond precise interpretation, creating an experience felt rather than explained. The textures and sounds envelop you fully. The smooth resistance of chocolate under the molinillo, the gentle warmth of wooden vessels, the subtle scent of spice and roasted cacao, and the distant chirping of birds. Each inhale brings grounding calm. Each exhale releases tension. You notice your own heartbeat sinking softly with the rhythmic spinning of the molinillo and the gentle rise of foam. A playful moment, a small child attempts to mimic the swirling motion, foam sticking briefly to tiny fingers, and the elder observes with indulgent amusement. This tender humor, integrated into ritual, reinforces the human warmth and continuity of practice. You feel a quiet connection across time, joining generations who have performed these same actions in sunlit courtyards. As the morning continues, sunlight illuminates the rising foam, casting a warm glow across vessels and hands. The interplay of movement, scent, and sound forms a gentle, meditative rhythm. Your body softens further, your mind drifts easily, and the ambient energy of the Aztec chocolate ritual carries you toward deep relaxation and sensory immersion. A comforting lullaby of tradition and subtle humor. You step closer to the northern edge of the terrace, where a gentle breeze drifts in from nearby maize fields, carrying with it the subtle, earthy sweetness of early morning dew. The ceremonial chocolate preparation continues in slow, deliberate movements. You notice the foam glistening under the sunlight, small peaks forming like tiny golden clouds, each one a testament to centuries of careful practice. The scent of roasted cacao mingles with faint hints of vanilla and annatto, creating a warm, grounding aroma that seems to wrap itself gently around your awareness. A widely accepted historical fact, chocolate was often shared communally, reinforcing social hierarchies and spiritual connection. Each cup, carefully frothed and served, symbolized respect, skill, and devotion. You watch an elder pass a cup to a young apprentice with subtle ceremony, noting how even the simplest gesture carries layered meaning, teaching both mindfulness and social grace. A lesser-known detail, during some rituals, the chocolate was stirred in patterns that mimicked the movement of the sun or stars, connecting earthly practices to celestial cycles. You watch hands move in gentle, circular motions, the molinillo creating tiny peaks of foam, each swirl a visual echo of cosmic rhythm. It's mesmerizing, and you feel your own awareness aligning with the subtle motion. Humor surfaces gently. An apprentice fumbles slightly while lifting a frothy cup, and the elder smiles knowingly. Mistakes are absorbed into the ritual, and a quiet chuckle ripples through the courtyard. You feel the warmth of human presence, the continuity of centuries-old practice, and the gentle reminder that even in precise rituals, imperfection is natural and welcome. Historians still debate the precise meaning of various foam patterns and spice combinations. Was a specific swirl indicative of skill, spiritual favor, or simply aesthetic delight? Observing the careful preparation, you sense that the answer lies not in rigid interpretation but in the experience itself, living, breathing, tradition transmitted through senses and gestures. The sensory experience deepens. The slight stickiness of foam on your fingertips, the soft warmth of wooden cups, the rhythmic hum of molinillo against cacao paste. Birds call softly from nearby trees, and the whispering wind carries subtle sounds of rustling leaves. Your breath slows, chest rising and falling in sync with the swirling motion. The gentle froth, and the muted cadence of ritual, a playful detail. A small child mimics, swirling the molinillo, foam clinging to tiny palms, and the elder's indulgent smile acknowledges both learning and play. This tender humor, embedded in tradition, emphasizes that ritual is lived, not merely observed. You feel a connection to generations past and present, a shared awareness of craft, devotion, and gentle joy. As the morning sun climbs higher, the courtyard bathes in soft, golden light. Foam peaks glint faintly. Aroma fills every inhalation, and the rhythmic movements of hands and molinillos create a slow, meditative pulse. Your body softens, mind drifts, and the sensory experience carries you further into calm, reflective immersion. A tranquil lullaby of Aztec chocolate ritual, history, and human warmth. You wander toward the eastern side of the terrace, where sunlight glances off carved stone steps, warming the air and highlighting subtle patterns in the woven mats. The morning ritual continues with quiet precision. Cacao is ground, foamed, and poured with deliberate care. The aroma of roasted chocolate, softened by hints of maize and aromatic herbs, curls through the courtyard like a gentle, familiar melody. You notice the slow rhythm of hands moving the molinillo, the foam rising in glistening peaks, and the soft, intermittent laughter woven into the serene practice. Each detail feels layered, both sensory and symbolic, inviting you to sink fully into the scene. A widely accepted historical fact. The Aztecs often consumed cacao for both ritual and sustenance, valuing the drink as a source of energy, comfort, and spiritual significance. You watch as participants sip slowly, foam gently clinging to the lips, eyes closing briefly in appreciation. Each cup is treated as a delicate, sacred object, a vessel of both nourishment and connection, a lesser-known detail in some morning rituals. Chocolate was infused with aromatic seeds or flowers, believed to bring clarity, protection, or subtle blessings to those who drank it. You imagine the faint, almost imperceptible fragrance lifting into the morning air, mingling with sunlight, warmth, and the soft pulse of ritual, creating a multisensory experience that feels both grounding and meditative. Humor drifts softly, an apprentice fumbles slightly with a cup, foam wobbling precariously. The elder glances over with quiet amusement, lips twitching in a restrained smile. Mistakes are integrated gently into the rhythm of practice, offering both teaching moments and tiny sparks of levity. You smile inwardly, feeling the warmth of human presence, playfulness, and centuries of shared experience. Historians still debate whether specific foam techniques or patterns indicated skill, social status, or spiritual favor. Observing the careful attention, subtle flourishes, and deliberate motions, you sense the significance lies as much in the lived experience as in theoretical interpretation, a blend of artistry, devotion, and communal rhythm. The tactile sensations are grounding. The soft resistance of chocolate beneath the molinillo, the slight warmth of wooden cups, the delicate peaks of foam catching sunlight. Birds call softly from nearby trees, leaves rustle gently, and the quiet exhalations of participants punctuate the rhythm of preparation. Your breath slows, chest rising and falling, in sync with the meditative swirl of chocolate, aligning your awareness with the calm cadence of the ritual. A playful moment, a small child reaches toward the foam, fingertips brushing peaks, and the elder allows it with indulgent amusement. Humor and learning coexist here, a gentle reminder that ritual is lived, playful, and human. You feel the quiet continuity of generations, the unbroken thread of practice, and the subtle joy embedded in centuries-old movement. As sunlight spreads fully across the courtyard, illuminating every cup, foam peak, and attentive hand, you feel a gentle sense of immersion. The interplay of aroma, texture, motion, and soft humor forms a slow, meditative pulse that carries your body and mind into relaxation. Each inhalation and exhalation aligns with the rhythm of ritual, drawing you deeper into the sensory lullaby of Aztec chocolate preparation, and a gentle calm settles over your awareness. You shift your attention to the western edge of the terrace, where the sunlight softens the carvings on stone walls, and the air carries the combined warmth of roasted cacao, morning dew, and subtle herbal aromas. The ritual continues with gentle precision. Hands lift molinillo's foam rises in glistening peaks, and chocolate is poured into small, carved cups. The rhythm of movement, the tactile resistance of thickened chocolate, and the gentle aroma combine to create a meditative flow that draws your attention fully into the moment. You notice the soft murmur of conversation, the occasional shared chuckle, and the quiet hum of communal presence, all blending into a soothing morning soundscape. A widely accepted historical fact, cacao was considered sacred, often used in morning rituals to honor gods, sustain participants, and reinforce social cohesion. You observe as each participant receives a cup, foam slightly rising, with gestures of reverence and shared understanding, demonstrating the integration of skill, devotion, and cultural continuity. A lesser-known detail, some chocolate preparations included hints of aromatic seeds, flowers, or lightly roasted maize, chosen for both flavor and symbolic resonance. You imagine the delicate balance of tastes and scents, each sip connecting body and mind to centuries of tradition, grounding you in both sensory awareness and quiet reflection. Humor drifts softly. An apprentice accidentally flicks a small droplet of foam onto the edge of a mat. The elder glances over with a restrained smile, reminding everyone that even minor mishaps are woven seamlessly into the ritual. You feel the warmth of human presence, the gentle acceptance of imperfections, and the playful, enduring nature of shared practice. Historians still debate the symbolic meaning of foam patterns and preparation techniques. Did a particularly lofty peak signify skill, devotion, or divine favor? Observing the careful, deliberate motions, you sense that interpretation is secondary to experience the tactile, sensory act of making and sharing chocolate itself conveys meaning across generations. The environment is immersive. The smooth warmth of wooden cups, the slight resistance of chocolate under the molinillo, the soft glimmer of foam in sunlight, and the faint rustle of leaves overhead. Birds call intermittently, punctuating the meditative rhythm, while soft laughter echoes gently through the courtyard. You notice your own breathing slowing, syncing with the steady pulse of hands, foam, and the gentle warmth of the sun. A playful moment, a small child mimics swirling a molinillo, foam clinging briefly to tiny hands. The elder observes indulgently, blending learning, playfulness, and ceremony. You feel the continuity of generations, the quiet thread of shared practice, and the gentle joy embedded in centuries of human care. As the morning progresses, sunlight illuminates foam peaks, vessels, and attentive hands, while the rhythm of chocolate preparation carries a slow, meditative pulse. Your body softens further, your mind drifts, and the combined sensory and human presence draws you deeper into tranquility, reflection, and immersive, gentle lullaby of Aztec chocolate rituals, history, and human warmth. You step toward the southern edge of the terrace, where sunlight spills warmly across carved stone, illuminating tiny flecks of gold and red in the foam of freshly prepared chocolate. The ritual moves at a gentle, unhurried pace. Molinillos spin foam risers in soft peak, and chocolate is poured carefully into small, hand-carved vessels. The aroma is intoxicating, blending roasted cacao, faintly sweet maize, and subtle herbal notes, curling through the warm morning air like a gentle wave. You feel the meditative rhythm wrapping around your senses, anchoring awareness in the textures, scents, and motions of the ceremony. A widely accepted historical fact, the Aztecs often considered chocolate a sacred drink, reserved for rituals, feasts, and offerings. It was both a symbol of vitality and a medium of social and spiritual connection. Watching the elders pass cups with careful attention, you sense the reverence imbued in every gesture and the quiet continuity of tradition across generations. A lesser-known detail, during some ceremonies, small amounts of aromatic pollen or flower petals were added to the chocolate, enhancing flavor and representing blessings or divine favor. You notice faint, almost imperceptible hints of these additions, and imagine how they would elevate the drink into both a sensory and symbolic experience, creating a multi-layered connection to the morning ritual. Humor drifts gently. An apprentice fumbles slightly while lifting a frothy cup, foam wobbling precariously. The elder glances over with a restrained smile, and a soft chuckle passes quietly among the participants. You feel the warmth of human presence, the gentle acceptance of minor imperfections, and the understated playfulness woven seamlessly into ceremony. Historians still debate the symbolic significance of foam, swirling motions, and specific spice combinations. Was a particularly lofty peak a sign of mastery, devotion, or divine favor? Observing the attentive care, subtle flourishes, and deliberate gestures. You sense that meaning is as much experiential as it is symbolic, felt through the senses rather than articulated in words. The tactile and auditory sensations are rich. The smooth, slightly warm wood of the molinillo, the resistance of thickened chocolate, the glistening peaks catching sunlight, and the soft, intermittent calls of birds. Each inhalation brings a grounding sense of calm. Each exhalation releases tension. Syncing your awareness with the rhythm of the ritual, a playful detail, a small child reaches toward the foam, smudging tiny fingers on the peaks, while the elder observes indulgently. This delicate humor reinforces that ritual is both lived and playful, a gentle weaving of human presence, learning, and continuity. You feel connected across time, sensing the quiet thread linking generations who performed these same careful, meditative gestures as the morning light reaches its zenith, illuminating foam, cups, and attentive hands. The rhythm of chocolate preparation carries a slow, meditative pulse. Your body softens, mind quiets, and the gentle energy of the ritual envelops you. The sensory immersion, the aroma, motion, textures, and soft laughter guides you into a deep state of relaxation, reflective calm, and meditative presence, a comforting lullaby of Aztec chocolate practice and shared human warmth. You settle near the central courtyard once more, where the morning ritual of chocolate preparation has reached a gentle, flowing rhythm. Sunlight pours over carved stones and woven mats, illuminating tiny peaks of foam that glint softly like morning dew. The air is rich with the aroma of roasted cacao, faintly sweet maize, and subtle herbal notes. Each movement is deliberate, yet effortless. Hands lift molinillo's chocolate swirls into glossy peaks, and small cups are passed with reverent care. You feel fully immersed in the sensory tapestry: sight, scent, sound, and touch, all blending into a slow, meditative pulse. A widely accepted historical fact, cacao was a sacred beverage in Aztec culture, integral to ritual life, social gatherings, and spiritual offerings. Each sip, each carefully lifted cup, carried layers of meaning, devotion, and cultural significance. Observing the participants, you sense how centuries of tradition have refined gestures, techniques, and motions into an almost hypnotic rhythm, inviting calm and mindful attention. A lesser-known detail, some ceremonial chocolate included subtle infusions like vanilla, annatto, or flower pollen, chosen for flavor, symbolic resonance, or spiritual benefit. You notice the delicate floral scent mingling with the roasted chocolate, faint but grounding, adding depth to the ritual experience. It is as if centuries of careful practice are whispered into each cup, carrying history directly into the senses. Humor drifts gently. An apprentice misjudges the spin of a molinillo foam, wobbling before settling with a soft sigh. An elder glances over with a restrained smile, eliciting a shared quiet chuckle. You feel the warmth of human presence, the acceptance of minor mistakes, and the gentle, playful spirit interwoven with centuries of ceremonial practice. Historians still debate the symbolic weight of foam peaks and stirring techniques. Did the tallest peak indicate skill, devotion, or divine favor? Watching the careful hands, precise swirls, and attentive gestures, you sense that meaning lies less in interpretation than in lived experience, the tactile. sensory, and human engagement of ritual across generations. The ambient sensory details envelop you fully. The smooth warmth of wooden molinillos, the subtle resistance of thickened chocolate, the soft glimmer of foam in sunlight, and the gentle rustle of leaves overhead. Birds call intermittently, punctuating the slow cadence of hands, whispers, and motion. Your breathing slows naturally, chest rising and falling in harmony with the meditative swirl of chocolate and the gentle pulse of the morning ritual. A playful moment. A small child reaches for a peak of foam, tiny fingers leaving faint impressions, and the elder allows it with indulgent amusement. This tender humor, interwoven with precision and reverence, reminds you that ritual is a living practice, shaped by human presence, care, and connection. You feel the quiet continuity linking generations across time, the enduring pulse of human devotion, and the subtle joy embedded in centuries of careful, meditative gestures. As the morning ritual begins to conclude, sunlight fully illuminates foam peaks, vessels, and hands, while the soft rhythm of chocolate preparation carries a gentle, meditative energy. Your body softens, awareness drifts, and the sensory immersion aroma, motion, tactile feedback, and soft laughter guides you toward calm reflection. You are enveloped by history, human warmth, and the quiet pulse of tradition, a gentle lullaby leading your mind and body toward rest. Now, as the morning sun fully warms the courtyard and the last cups of chocolate are carefully set aside, allow yourself to sink deeper into the soft rhythm of this ancient day. Imagine the gentle warmth of the sun on your skin, the subtle fragrance of roasted cacao and maize curling around you like a comforting blanket, the soft murmur of distant voices, quiet laughter, and the occasional bird song weave into a soothing tapestry, each sound a gentle punctuation in the flow of time. Breathe slowly, feeling your chest rise and fall in harmony with the subtle movement of the ritual around you. Let the textures, the smooth wood of a molinillo, the glossy peaks of foam, the warmth of sun-baked stone linger in your awareness, grounding you fully in this moment. Visualize the golden sunlight glinting across carved vessels and woven mats, bathing the space in a calm, steady glow. Allow your thoughts to drift as freely as the soft morning breeze, carrying away tension and leaving only quiet, gentle reflection. You are present in this sensory lullaby, embraced by centuries of practice, human warmth, and care. Each inhale brings grounding calm, each exhale releases the lingering weight of day-to-day life, leaving space for ease and tranquility. Picture the courtyard gradually emptying, participants moving with relaxed deliberation, the aroma of chocolate lingering faintly in the warm air. The soft, steady rhythm of the ritual continues within your mind as a gentle heartbeat, slowing your own pulse, inviting calm and quieting thought. You are part of this moment, yet entirely free, cocooned in history, light, and warmth. Finally, let your gaze drift to the sky above, imagining sunlight filtering softly through leaves, shadows stretching and shrinking in slow, deliberate patterns. Feel the quiet satisfaction of having shared in a centuries-old morning, where care, humor, and sensory richness guide you toward stillness. Every element, the foam, the molinillo, the warmth, the scent has gently guided your mind and body to a state of ease. Allow your body to relax fully, muscles softening, shoulders dropping, and awareness settling into calm contentment. Let the gentle pulse of memory, ritual, and sensory presence lull you into quiet rest. You are safe, comforted, and enveloped in gentle history.